Hey everyone, and Happy New Year. Thank you so much for joining me today as we talk about home safety in the new year with Jennifer Harris with Age with Grace. And before we begin, I'm going to share just a little bit of information with you about our services at Wellspring Solutions. First, we offer free and confidential memory screenings in the community. We also offer the Memory Fitness Program. We're licensed out of UCLA Longevity Center to do that 12-class series. We also offer a 5-session series called Dementia Dialogues out of USC. And we also offer specialized home and community-based services with our adult day program called the Memory Care Center, Connections and Memory Club, Caregiver Education, and home care. And just briefly, our memory care center is for individuals who are 60 and older with a diagnosis of dementia. And we offer activities to enhance our members' physical and memory fitness, as well as just promote their ability to express themselves creatively with art and with music. We have lunch and a snack, and there's staff there to assist our members with their care needs, as well as healthcare monitoring by a nurse. And we operate Monday through Friday from 7:30 till 5:30. Connections, a memory club, is an abbreviated version of our day where we can offer socialization, engagement for our members with dementia, and it's in a small group setting. We offer lunch and music and exercise, and again, opportunities for meaningful engagement. And what's so important too is that both of these offerings really give the caregiver a much needed break from their responsibilities of caregiving. We offer education sessions on a variety of different topics, and they're really focused on self-care, self-management, legal and financial planning, and just direct care tips from communicating better and safe body mechanics. We offer caregiver support groups, so you can know that you're not alone on your caregiver journey, and you can connect and learn about resources and help others who are experiencing similar situations as yourself. We also offer home care in Guilford County, and we offer a navigator program. If you just don't know what services you would benefit from the most, please give Nicole, our navigator, a phone call. She can really assist you in offering just recommendations after she assesses what's going on with your story, whether they're with Wellspring Solutions or not, and there is no charge for that visit. So part of our caregiver and education program is partnering with experts in the community, and I am really excited to be partnering today with Jennifer Harris with Age with Grace. And I'm going to just invite her to share a little bit about her background and about her role as a geriatric care manager, and just get her situated. And welcome, Jennifer. We are just so glad that you are with us today.
Thanks, Jody, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too.
This is an exciting time to talk about home safety because for most of us, home is really where 2020 happened. So we've been spending a lot of time in our homes. And as a geriatric care manager, helping to make that home environment the safest place for older adults to be able to stay if that's their choice. As a geriatric care manager, I try to use a very holistic, person-centered approach to helping older adults and their loved ones kind of walk through the challenges that life faces as we age. There's a lot of decision making and quality of life in making sure the environment's appropriate is always a challenge. But by doing assessments and monitoring, planning, problem solving, often a lot of advocacy and education with the families as well, we're able to work one-on-one with each individual and help the families who are out of town or loved ones who are trying to support, but particularly right now with the pandemic, helping people remember you're not alone. There are folks here, there are boots on the ground like our group who are working together, collaborating to help keep our seniors safe in their homes.
Well, thank you for all the work that you do and for sharing in advance your knowledge on this topic. Home safety in the new year, it's just another thing we have to focus on. And while so many are in their home and trying to be safe, it's such a timely topic. So I will hand it over to you, Jennifer, and thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. Give me just a second for a little technology switch. Here we go. So we're going to talk about some home safety, and I'll move pretty quickly because a lot of this is such common sense. We want to avoid things like burns, falls, medication errors, and in general, keeping the environment as safe as possible. Key thing is to stay out of the hospital, stay out of the doctor's office, and take care of ourselves. Things that can burn. If you've ever had that tingling feeling in your hands or feet, like you've got the pins and needles, people with neuropathy, diabetics sometimes will have that on a continual basis. So the ability to feel that water is too hot running a bath or a shower, or if the sink's been running, and then you're going to stick your hands in there. With the neuropathy, it's hard to tell if the skin is being impacted. So there are temperature guards that you can do on individual faucets, as well as restrictions you can put on the water heater for the whole house. Candles, we love them, especially around the holidays. They provide that nice ambiance and good smells, but they can fall over, you can fall asleep, forget to blow them out. So by putting just the little battery operated tea lights inside the bigger candles, it still gives all of that pretty atmosphere, but without any of the risk of open flame. And they have them now in all different sizes, and it's a very affordable alternative. Pulling hot stuff down over you, such as using a wall-mounted microwave, or if you have double ovens that are mounted into the cabinets, considering if as life changes, perhaps, and mobility changes, move those down onto the counter height if possible, and sometimes even below the counter. We see in a lot of new construction where universal design is a part of it, where someone who is seated or someone who's just shorter can use those things even below the counter. And for for people of all ages, even for children to be able to use a microwave or an oven, if it's down lower, it removes the risk by not having you pull hot stuff down from above you. If you need to use a space heater, please make sure that it has a thermostat, an automatic shutoff in it, whether it's temperature that it reaches or the amount of time that it is on. That's a very important safety feature. You want to make sure there's no blankets or fabrics or furniture that can touch those space heaters, and that there's good ventilation around them. If you're using any kind of gas or propane or anything, ventilation is very important. And please be sure to only use indoor heating appliances in the house. Falls, one of the number one reasons older adults go to the hospital. Is it inevitable? Are you going to fall just because you get older? No, absolutely not. Falls happen, but there are some risk factors that you can control. There are some that you can't. If you can, let me know. Send me an email. But by being over age 75, it's a higher risk factor. By being a female, postmenopausal women and some of the osteoporosis and stuff can cause actually the bone to break. And that is what triggers the fall. Having fallen before, such as having that fear of falling, being homebound, all of us right now are spending a lot of time sitting and a lot of time in our homes. That changes our muscle use, and the less out walking around we do, sometimes we have to rebuild that stamina. Being able to control things like chronic diseases such as arthritis, Parkinson's, and then your ethnicity. We can't control those things, but what we can control are the things that we want to really focus on. This time of year, especially looking out for wet or icy surfaces. If you're leaving somewhere and it's raining, maybe asking for a hand, using the shopping cart, to help stabilize yourself. Taking your time, very often it's just slowing down that can make a difference. Wearing smart shoes. They may not be the most attractive, but rubber-soled, low-heeled shoes that support your feet can help keep you safe and upright. I know we all want to have our pretty shoes with heels or coordinated with the outfit. Tuck them in a little bag that you can stick those boots in when you get where you're going. But it certainly is worth a few minutes of wearing reasonable shoes to make sure your body stays upright off the ground. Giving your eyes a minute to adjust, such as leaving a movie theater, or when you've been sitting in church in the morning when we can go back to our places of worship. You typically are there and the sun rises higher over the time that you spend there. It's dimly lit very often, and then you open the doors and it's bright light, and the first thing in front of you is often a step. So taking your time in that doorway, maybe extend your goodbyes and well wishes, and then give your eyes a minute to adjust. Please keep both feet on the floor. Don't climb on chairs and stools and tables to reach things that are too high. Try using that reacher grabber. If you don't have one, let Jody or I know. We can point you in the right direction to some medical supply stores that have them right here in Greensboro. A yardstick sometimes can help pull that curtain over or whatever you were to climb for. When you have some friends or family coming by, ask them to move those up high items that you might think you need to climb for. Go ahead and put them down on the counter or in the cabinets below the counter level, so you're not reaching up and climbing for them. Get up slowly. All of us are sitting a lot right now. The only choices we have in many of our days is, do I sit in the kitchen? Maybe I'll sit in the living room for a little while because we're staying home and staying safe. Don't rush to the door or the phone. Get up in a couple steps. Take a minute to make sure your feet are awake and under you. Make sure your head and your balance is following where your body and your trunk is moving. And remember, those phone calls, a lot of the times it's the robocall, it's the spam. If you don't use Amazon, your account can't have a problem. Just hang up on it. Those robocalls don't typically leave messages, but people who want to talk to you will. So it's okay to let it go to the answering machine. Try to keep at least one hand free so you can use a handrail or extend that arm out for balance. Try not to carry too much. Make 2 trips if that's what's required so that you've got a hand free. Especially again this time of the year, we want to try to limit the amount of alcohol you drink beyond your regular daily consumption. Even a small amount when you're taking different medications, or if you don't enjoy alcohol on a regular basis, it can have an effect on your balance and reflexes. As we get older, our body processes alcohol different and in a slower nature. Particularly after eating. When you're laying down or resting, your body has sent a lot of the blood to your belly. It's busy doing other things. So if you get up very quickly, it can cause your blood pressure to drop and make you feel faint. So take your time getting up. Watch for the temperatures in your home. Don't let it get too hot or too cool. And remember, it's your home. If your guests are too hot or too cool, it's important for you. Maybe add a blanket when you need to. Sleeping a little bit cooler is recommended, and make sure you've turned off any extra heating devices while you're sleeping. If you use a cane or a walker and that helps you feel steadier, please do so. Again, especially this time of year through the fall and winter. And when you're going places where the sidewalk, the terrain is uneven, or if you've never been there before and you don't know what to expect, go ahead and have what you think you might need in advance. Worst case scenario is you don't even use it. This year, I don't know if your yard looks like mine, but acorns have caused a lot of falls. They're hiding under the leaves. We want to make sure your walkways that you go to get to your vehicle or to pick up your mail, that those are free of leaves and nuts and any of the things that have fallen out of the trees. This has been a really big year for them, and rolling on them when you can't see them is, believe it or not, a very common fall risk. Medications. Average older American takes 15 pills a day. That's a lot. A lot of medications can cause drowsiness, dizziness. So making sure you're taking them as prescribed with food on your stomach if it says to do so. Using a tracking system like a pill box, a daily reminder, and they have them that are up to 4 times a day. If you have a morning, a lunchtime, a dinner time, and then a nighttime. Most of your pharmacies are going to have them, and even your larger stores like a Walmart or a Target will have them in the health and beauty sections. But that can avoid the confusion of, did I take that or not? There are companies who will come out and have registered nurses set those boxes up for you every week or every other week. So if you feel like opening the bottles, having the dexterity to open the pill bottle or to see or to count out the right ones, there's any issue that you think there could be an error, there are groups who can help, and we can provide referrals for that. I recommend using a dark colored dish towel or a placemat when you're seated at the table or at a counter. Then open your pill bottles to set up your box. If you're standing over the sink or with nothing under you and it drops, now you've got to get down to the floor, because we don't want a child or a pet to find that pill before you do. And it's most important that it gets in you to keep you happy and healthy. So opening over a dark material so that you'll be able to see that contrasting color. Most pills are yellow, white, light blue, green, pink. They're going to show up on a dark towel or placemat. Also, using a bowl under that can help to capture it if they do fall out of your hands due to dexterity. If you feel like you're taking too many medications, please talk to the doctor, or also ask the pharmacist to do a review. And it may be that 2 different physicians have prescribed the same or similar things that are too much for your system. Don't try to practice medicine on your own. If you're not a doctor or a pharmacist, speak to the professionals who are there to help you. It is a great idea. I require all my clients to do this, to keep a list of your medications and keep it up because it can change at any appointment. But have that list near your refrigerator in your home. That's a place that first responders and caregivers know to go look for advanced directives or do not resuscitate orders, lists of medications. It's good to have one in your wallet, so then you'll have it when you're filling out paperwork at any type of medical appointment. Keeping one in the car if you still drive, having that updated list in the event that you have an event while you're driving. Again, first responders might look to see If you're diabetic, for instance, you might just be in a bit of a sugar crash, and that will help them know what to do. There is a type of poisoning or that doesn't involve medication, but as we age and our eyesight may diminish, but also the sense of smell starts to decline. By the time we're in our 50s, it is not as it was when we were younger. And by the time we're in our 80s, it is less than 50% for some folks. So why do they write expiration dates in the tiniest font that is hard for most anybody to read without a magnifying glass? So one way we can combat that is periodically go through the refrigerator, or right as you bring stuff home from the grocery store, get a Sharpie or a marker and write that expiration date in large print so that you can see it. Another thing to do is to label perishable foods that are going to be like your takeout, or styrofoam containers, so you know what date you brought that one home and you're not eating expired or older foods that were prepared in someone else's kitchen. But if the nose doesn't know, when in doubt, throw it out. Don't eat it. Dehydration, a day of having a bad tummy can really set you back. How to stay safe in the home. We have had a good 9-10 months of being in our homes. So you've had an opportunity to perhaps find some areas for improvement. Talking to an electrician if needed to make sure there's good lighting in stairwells, light switches at the top and at the bottom, so you're not going either direction in the dark. Making sure those areas are tidy in your walkways, especially on the stairs. I was very guilty in my last house to make a pile at the bottom of the stairs because I didn't want to run things up. And then I waited till I went upstairs and had my arms full carrying stuff. Not a good plan. If you're going to stack stuff on the stairs, maybe do it next to them, or have a laundry basket or something that can be carried with one hand so you can keep your other hand on a handrail. Making sure that carpets are firmly in place, whether they're wall to wall, make sure there's no wrinkles that could be a trip hazard. That can be kicked back into place. It doesn't have to be completely redone. Putting no slip strips underneath any rugs that are on tile or wooden floors so they don't slide out from under you. But please be aware of the edging on those throw rugs. If you have to have them, make sure that they're stuck to the ground best you can, and that it's not too high that it can cause you to catch your toe on it. Having handrails on both sides of the stairs allows you to use your dominant hand that you're going to reach with if you start to fall, whether you're going up or down. And if you grab a hold of that and it jiggles, it's time to ask a handyman or friend or family to come by and tighten those up. But again, that's a very cost-effective, easy fix to staying safe at home. Having motion censored lights, the little night lights that will come on only when you're moving, they can be in other rooms than the bedroom and bathroom. Having them near the stairs so that if you're going down and the light is dim, it'll come on at the bottom before you get there to turn on the switch. Adding grab bars, and let me remind you, a towel bar is not meant to hold any more weight than a wet bath towel. Towel bars, toilet paper holders, things of that nature are not intended to support an adult. But having grab bars around the toilet and shower areas, both inside and out of the shower, and when someone's installing those for you, making sure they're placed appropriately for your height, not the installer, and on the side where you use your dominant hand. Very important. Non-skid mats that need to be down during bathing time. that are designed to get wet and prevent slick surfaces can be picked up and removed when that bathing process is over. Again, motion sensor lights are really cost effective. They're about $4 or $5 at a drugstore, and they can stay on, but the light won't activate until you're moving around. So if you're getting up, making trips to the bathroom during the night, those little motion sensor lights will help illuminate the way. Having a flashlight next to your bed in the event that there is a problem with power can help avoid a fall in the dark. And trying to make sure that the plug that is tied to the switches, that's next to your bed, so you're not walking across the room in the dark. Also, having a phone next to your bed, whether it's plugged in or cordless, taking it with you to where you spend the day when you're awake, but having one next to the bed in the event of emergencies, and so that you don't have that need to get up and try to rush to get to it. Using timers, they're not just for Christmas lights and holiday decorations, but so that your home right now, it's probably what, about 5:15 and it's getting dark. So having timers on lamps, it helps with home safety from the prevention of potential break-ins or robberies, that it looks like people are home, but so that you're not walking into dark rooms in a dark home, and you can control them what time they come on and go off, whether you're traveling or in the home. Checking the batteries and smoke alarms and carbon monoxide detectors, especially if you're using any kind of space heater or uses a gas type product. Excuse me. Also, check the date on that fire extinguisher. It's maybe been under the kitchen sink for quite some time. Let's make sure that that is current. Your home improvement stores carry them at a very reasonable cost. Making sure electrical cords, telephone wires are coated from start to finish, that there's no frayed or exposed wires that can spark or arc and cause a problem. And when you're given the choice of running it along the floor or up over a doorway, try to always go up to avoid a trip. When you're looking at the furniture in your living room, dining room areas where you spend your daytime awake hours, especially glass top tables, be aware of those edges where they will catch your knee or your shin, making sure you can define where the edge of the coffee table is. There shouldn't be objects in your path from where you go from that chair, that favorite chair you spend the most time in, to get to the restroom, the kitchen, the telephone, if you don't have them near you. Making sure those paths are clear. And also, when you're sitting in that favorite chair, have you been in that chair for a long time and it's fitted to your bottom, and maybe your bottom's getting below your knees? If it takes a lot of energy, or you're rocking your body to sling yourself up out of it, there are little tricks like rolling up beach towels or bath towels and putting them under the cushion, or cutting up a pool noodle, things that can bring that seat cushion up higher so your hips and your knees are more in alignment and you're not sitting down below your knees. I know you've heard it a lot, but wear your mask, wash your hands, and try to wait 6 feet apart. This is almost over. And keep in mind, again, you're not alone. You've got Wellspring Solutions. You've got geriatric care managers here in your area, and we're here to help. Whether it's, discharging from the hospital, coming home safely, changing with your needs, you've got these wonderful professionals that we all collaborate together to keep seniors safe right here in our community.
Jennifer, thank you for these just such meaningful tips. And I was nodding in agreement with you many times, jotting things down. I thought this was just very useful information now and in the future. And I just thank you so much again, Jennifer Harris with Age with Grace. And thanks for sharing your time and expertise with us. Everyone, we wish you a very happy and healthy new year and all the best in 2021.
Thanks, Jody.